pen, you still use the same tripod. So the same tripod, this equipment, is it to power it on that you can. Most of these devices are less than operating a phone. I've seen people that can operate phone, but they can't operate laptop. They are that kind of person. You operate iPhone, you can't operate a laptop. So when you learn how to learn, in every environment, you will remain relevant. As the situation and environment changes, what do you do to learn? And that is why the school, like I said, cannot teach you everything. But if you learn these three things, good grade because of the opportunity it may bring, competence so you remain relevant while that technology is there. Learning how to learn so that you remain continuously relevant. So, what is the roadmap before we demonstrate some practical cases and make some of us program? How much time do I have? Well, that's it. So what is the roadmap? You have to travel through two parallel lines that will eventually converge. The first part is foundational knowledge in the area of interest. If you're in geomatics, you need geomatics, fundamentals, you need math and statistics, which are integrated. So if you follow through what you were taught in school, all those adjustments, statistics, and all that, your matrix and all that, you have passed this stage. The next one is programming proficiency, which will start today for those that don't have any idea. You could go through Python because it's popular, and then what we call version control at a more later stage, where you can work with other professionals. Then you need data science skills, which includes data manipulation and statistical analysis. Now you can see this is reoccurring because you cannot be a good data scientist or a special data scientist without the statistics. And that is part of the challenge we have in Somalia. Most time our statistics is poor. If you have good statistics, you can bring out sense from any data, no matter how programmed it is. But if the statistics is not strong, you have limitation to the amount, to the extent of analysis you can derive. The extent of the insight you can bring to the data will be limited. If your statistical analysis is poor. That is why we need to but unfortunately, we don't know the importance of those courses while we're doing it. We just go award us degree. But suddenly now we are in society and we need those people. So that's why we should be ashamed to revise these things. So if you have learned how to learn, if you forget, you learn it. If you have not learned it before, you learn it. Okay. Then machine learning fundamentals. Okay. Offline and online courses, demonstrate some of them practically, and practical projects. Now, IT is like what we call talent. The more you use it, the more it's very. There are three ways to learn anything in IT: programming, coding, whatever it is. There are three ways. The first one is what? Practice. The second one, practice. And the third way is practice. We'll demonstrate it in a moment. Remember, we call it programming language. Now, from my accent, I speak like somebody from there. What is that? That's nice. From my accent, can you get the region of the country? Somebody say from the north. You know what? I've been in the north since 1950. Somebody say from the west. I understand the indigenous language here than local guy. You know what? 1990 till now is more than 90% of the year. So I understand how more than I should know how to speak Yoruba more. But I know how to speak Hausa more. People they get birth to in Lagos, you see them speaking Yoruba more
Social condition.
than their parents. And then for some people that travel out for long, when they come back, they can't even talk that same language they used to teach with. Programming language, human language is. The only way you get to learn programming language is to speak it. How do you speak it? Writing it, using it, solving from small problem to advanced problem as problem. You stay in the north, you interact with people from the north, you learn Hausa. That is. So that is the same way. If those of you willing to answer this call to program, if only you dedicate, let's say 1 hour a day, just 1 hour. If 1 hour is too much, 30 minutes, and I'll explain how in the next 3-6 months, I'll give you my details, get back to you. Let's assume you dedicate 1 hour a day to study. You heard of the poly, it started 2021, but when we fully decided 2023, and you saw the kind of work. So imagine if this workshop was before 2020, and you use the lockdown to learn this thing. By now, you will not be here, you will be a resource person. Okay, so if you decide conventional school, a 2-credit unit course, 3-credit unit course, is 3 hours of lecture a week. And at the end of 3 months, you expected to write the exam. Meaning, the school is awarding that you are proficient in this place. A 2-credit unit course, 2 hours of lecture a week. In 12 weeks, that's just 24 hours. That means you learn something for 24 hours and you are certified that you are a professional in that field. How much more if you decide to learn that in 1 hour a week? In a year, that is 365 hours. Calculate how many semesters that will be. Can you see how easy it is? With the condition that you have learned how to learn. How do you learn how to learn? Which is willingness, location, time. So 1 hour a day, in 1 year, that is 365 hours learning one thing. If you're working for people online. So it's not ultimately. If you are not talented, learn, work hard, Messi and Ronaldo. That's it. If you are not Messi that has follow, in fact, some people have the follow come. Robinho and the rest that have the follow come. In the no discipline, what are they doing? So it's not just enough to be talented. If Messi was as hardworking as Ronaldo, in addition to his talent, will not be counting, will not be dragging us, wasting our day. True, of course.
True.
If Messi was as hardworking as Ronaldo is, follow come plus hard work, expert. So if you don't have the follow come like some of us, sit down and read. It will even help you work for it. 1 hour a day. Now, once you get to this point, you learn the fundamentals of machine learning, practice, project, take some courses, practice it. You are now moving to the next part of deep learning and AI. So you see, I cannot come here and tell you this is how you do it. It's a progressive journey. And that is why we start from the first step, gradually, till the point where you get to this point, you start taking deep learning courses in TensorFlow, PyTorch. You move to the spatial AI integration, like Dr. Femi talked about some of those things in detail yesterday. Okay, advanced AI concept. At this point, you now start thinking, okay, now that at this point, let me get certification to back up what like. But you see, there are people in Nigeria that take for certification for if they are not certification. That is dangerous. It's just like somebody that is a civil or structural engineer that is a certified structural engineer without the knowledge. No wonder buildings are collapsing in Lagos. So once you get to this point where you are familiar with the fundamentals, you now move to this point. You see, at this point, when you get to this point, you can now start considering using LLM or ChatGPT. Because now you have the fundamental. This is it, but you want to say that you write a code to do this. It's generate the basic code and you correct. If you start at this stage, your brain will not strain itself to learn the language. That's the truth. You see, your brain, let me give this example. Sorry, I'm using classroom, I'm a teacher, so I use it much classroom examples. At least all of us have passed through school. As students back then, if you decide to be involved in exam and practice, while you are reading, you are jotting down some microchips. It becomes difficult to memorize those things you jotted. Your brain, before you take the exam, you can't use it. You already have opportunity. So why train it? It's better than joke, but when you know that you are not going to, you will memorize over and over till it becomes. That is what this large language model does. When you start using them at this early stage without the fundamental, even when they say write a program to say hello, you will not be able to write it. And when you go for the campaign, you don't have to use those tools. Those tools are for professionals. People that already know the basics, but they want to save time to complete their project. Those days, when we write code to design an interface where users will, we use code to write everything. When we want to design a website, we use code to write everything. But now you have tools that in graphic design, it will generate the code for you, so you can focus on the functions that those things will be performing. So when I want to write a program where a user can say 2 plus 2 and it gives the answer, why should I waste time writing code for the interface where the user will put instead of just focusing on what the program will do? So that is why some of those things were used. So if you start using this large language model at this early stage, then you will not know. Because, of course, they are everywhere. Just, I want to write program to check whether this number is positive, negative, or zero. And GPT will give you, but you will not know. So, at this stage, get to this point where you have crossed the fundamentals, then you can bring in the tools. Is it clear? I have not said don't use those tools. I'm saying wait till open time. Get some foundation first, so that your brain will train itself to learn this thing. And then those tools can complement. Okay? We have some demonstration to keep to my promise that we will all become programmers before we leave. Embracing AI does not diminish the value of your skills. Statement, very important. Instead, it amplifies your capabilities, allowing you to achieve feats that were once considered impossible. So, your skill is still very valuable, even when you're studying. In fact, you should, like Aristotle said, you should be the one using the tool, not the other way around. That's very important. Preserve your expertise while integrating AI. You must know the fundamentals. If you're a surveyor, you have to be grounded in the basics of survey while you integrate AI. Otherwise, you will abuse it. You don't know about coordinate system. You just write a program, you run, you don't know what is coordinate system, you don't know what data you need. You go and plug somebody's life in another system. AI leveraging its path to ensuring the continuous evolution of the survey profession in this. Lastly, Embrace this future, uphold the core values of the profession, and together let's shape a new era where human expertise and AI harmoniously coexist for betterment of our communities and the world. Now, before the thank you, I will quickly show us some demonstration on where to practically start steps I talked about earlier. So for that, you permit me to sit so I can. Okay.
Sandra kamu kerja kadang dulu ke hutan sana. Lain. Oh, this one. No, just take up.
Okay. If you have your pen with you, try what is on the screen. Just two lines. You write the first one, you write the second one, and I'll tell you what that means. This is a classwork, so I'll go around. Now, if you're done writing, just raise your hand. Please, just write either on your phone or on paper. Please don't use Jota. Barrier Jota. Don't use barrier Jota for this assignment of classwork, please. I've had students using barrier Jota to write assignment of classwork. So, if you are done, let me see your hand. We are waiting for others. That will, you don't have to. You see where I'm going around? Don't assume you all. Please take note, the 1, 2, 3 is not part of it. It's just notepad, not bring the lines. Okay? So you don't have to put the 1, 2, 3. So for that good, it means you yeah, the 1, 2, 3 is not part. It's for me to be able to say line 2 is empty, line 3 is this. Okay? Yes? Okay. Anybody yet to write? Let me see. Or yet to finish writing? Okay, good. If you are yet to finish. Jenny, which course? Oh, you asked for extra sheet. Anybody yet to write? Now, if you have written what is on the screen, please clap for yourself. Do you know why you are clapping? You've just learned 2 of the most advanced, popular, and sought-for languages. In just 2 lines, you started learning 2 different languages. And I'll run it on the system now to prove that you are correct. The first language is SQL, Structured Query Language, which you talked about yesterday, used to interact with databases. That line, those 3 words, create database, YSM. What does that mean? In English, what does that structure look like?
Create a database for YSM.
Good. Create a database named YSM. Can you see how easy coding is? The same way you can tell somebody create a database, it's the same way we are telling the computer. If I run that code on what we talked about earlier, IDE, the environment, it will create a database called YSM. The second one is actually a Python code telling the computer to print out what is the double code. Welcome to HOI 7. That is how easy programming is. So if you can learn 2 languages without a computer using your book, how much more if you dedicate 30 to 1 hour every day? So I intentionally brought this so you see that this programming thing you have been afraid of is very helpful. And I will show us some demonstration so that we can go back to survival. At least after this section, on your own, you will review your registration fee. So let's talk about the environment. I've talked about Anaconda. Once you install it, it comes with Spider, Jupyter Notebook, where you can start learning. So I'll show you those environments, and then online tools where you can start, especially at the basics. Okay. So let's start with the online tools. Now, if you see this website, w3schools.com, it's a good place to start W3. W3schools.com. It's a good place to start learning any language of interest. Now we have emphasized 2 languages here. SQL, Structured Query Language, because as surveyors, we work with database, ArcGIS, and all that, the database. So that is a good place to start. Get familiar with working with databases. Then you move to the programming languages like Python. Okay. If you can combine the two, like you have done here successfully, perfect. So if you look at this, you have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SQL, Python, Java, and so many more. And your project on the screen. Can you see? These are all languages you can learn for free. Can you see? So let's keep this somewhere. Assuming you decide to, we have not gotten here, just to tell you that these things are available. It's this website will take you from the basics. Okay, you have tabs there explaining each of these till you start running examples and all that. Okay, but we are yet to get to this level. So data science, cyber security, and so many more. So let's start with Excel, SQL. When you come here, the lessons are here, but you could follow them one after the other using the next button. So it will start from the basics, telling you that SQL is a standard language for storing, manipulating, and retrieving data in databases. You'll see more details when you have your section with Tijana. Okay. So start learning. Okay, you start. Can you see? From not knowing what SQL is, you now know that it's structured query language. If that is what you do with your 30 minutes today, you know what SQL is. Okay. What can SQL do? It will tell you no. And then you get to examples. So here we have a table where customer information is stored. They are using customer, could have been land parcel information, could have been anything, airport information with coordinates. So the table is called customers. And like we saw yesterday and you see later, we want to see all the data, all the records in the table customer. So we use asterisk, meaning all the columns, name, address, and all that. Try it yourself by running it. Remember, this is online. So even without installing anything, Okay. We are all logging in successfully. Okay, let's go back to desktop days since network overload. So, but you can follow up on from one class to the next, okay? And once you register, you will have the opportunity to try the code yourself, okay? So this is supposed to give you an environment where you can type your code, your SQL code, and then you can execute. Okay, I think it's successful. So you have the tutorial, and then you have an environment where you can try it. So this is displaying 91 records, meaning 91 rows of data, and all the columns because we use asterisks. So what if we're interested in just the customer ID and address? Maybe you want to send a password. So instead of using asterisks, you can specify the columns we are interested in. Okay? And say we want the ID, comma, and we want the address from customers table. And then it brings just the ID and the address. Now this could be equivalent to, okay, I just want the latitude and longitude. I don't want other information. And it will bring it. With this, and then you practice, read, practice, even on your phone, you can do that. You start learning SQL and you move. Okay. So what you wrote earlier, you could write that in a database environment like this. Create database YSN, and we run this. Look at it. Can you see that? In 9.20 micro or second, a database has been created. To confirm, let's refresh. Can you see that? So you have successfully created a database with just 3 words. To create a table, maybe participants' details, we just say create table. And in bracket, we start specifying what do we want in the table. We want name, we want date, we want this, and it will create it. So you can see how easy this whole thing is that has been looking like a difficult thing all the while. Once you can operate your computer, boot it, shut down, open programs, you can learn this thing. So have I kept to my promise? In fact, you have learned 2 languages. So let's see the second language. So assuming you, like I said, the W3 school, it's a good place to start because it's broken down. We'll take questions. It's broken down steps from zero knowledge to advanced knowledge. When you finish from this, you can now start thinking of, okay, let me pick a course on Coursera, maybe, or YouTube. But if you are going to YouTube, make sure you download complete videos. So if I want to search for, let's say, tutorial in SQL, it should be full tutorial, SQL full tutorial or full course. Why? Those 5-minute, 15-minute videos will not give you progressive learning. But when you get a 5 hours, 6 hours complete video, just like this website, it will take you step by step. And don't download too many at a time, and the time you will not any, and you will occupy your computer space. So start from this website, either the Python, the SQL. When you are done taking their course, by the time you get to a YouTube video or other courses, you'll be the one holding it because you have learned. So if it were, let's assume Python, so the output is expected to be here. Okay, let's use another environment. Yours is up. Can you see that? Congratulations. If it's on your phone, you run it. If you just open a new tab where you see you try it, and another tab where you read the lesson. Okay. So this is one environment. The other one is when you install your Jupyter notebook, your Anaconda, and then it comes with Jupyter notebook. So I will show you what a conventional Jupyter notebook looks like. Now, when you start reading this, what do you think? You think it's an article, right? Explanation. Now, this is a work on water quality exploration, exploratory data analysis and prediction. What you will learn from this project is explained. So, the Jupyter notebook allows such kind of explanation, including images, and then you start learning step by step. When you would have completed your W3 school, so you know the basics. Here is where you now get existing codes and learn with explanation. So this part is telling you the libraries you will need. You would have learned how to import them previously. Okay. This is Jupyter Notebook. It comes when you install Anaconda, so you have to install Anaconda. Now, where do you get such notebooks? You can either use GitHub or Cargo. Okay, so let's quickly do that. Please take note of the steps. The W3 schools to get the basics. You now have an Anaconda, and then you can now get complete notebook on an area you're interested in that contains explanation, sample code, and more. Okay, so this is not where to start. Because, of course, the workshop is ending today, so you can take note of everything in advance and you follow gradually. You can search for code in any area you are interested in, and then you will see complete tutorials, projects, when you get to the level where you start using projects. The idea is, one way to learn is by studying existing code. So once you have the basics, you can get existing code as Jupyter notebooks that has explanation, sample code, and output, and you can try it yourself. Okay? So that is this. So once you have that basics, you can now move to the level of thinking of taking online courses. For Coursera, for example, you may not necessarily pay. They have options like audit, where you go through the entire content of the course for free or without certification. The good thing is, at this level, you don't need certification. What are you certifying? You can't certify zero knowledge. So you learn first, get to a level that, okay, at this point I feel I need certification to help my level of knowledge. That is when you go for certification. I think we're having them. So once you pick any course, by the time you say enroll in this course, it will give you money. When you scroll down, you see option audit, AUDIT, meaning go through this course. You can submit assignment, but every other thing you have access to it, and then you don't have certificate at home, which is not a big deal. You already have your certificate. It is the knowledge to back it up. But when you get to a particular level where you start bidding and competing with others for some job, then certification will become important, but not at this stage. Sometimes people just register for a course and go and click that they have completed it to print certificate for them. Who are you deceiving? You have such case. You have somebody in that category. So you don't say, I've done 10 courses, I've done 50, I have 50 certificates. To what knowledge? So don't be carried away by certification for now. So look at this course, Python for data science, AI and development. If I say enroll, it will tell me this is what we call professional certification, meaning they are a collection of courses, Coursera from here. Coursera. So it's a collection of courses. So imagine out of your 1 hour every day, you want to take this specialization. You start from the first course, what is data science, the tools, and all that. But for now, let's pick Python for data science, and you go next. It's telling you that this course is this per month. Now that is the good difference between Coursera and Udemy. Udemy is you subscribe and it's for life. So you see somebody has subscribed, has paid for 50 courses, but you have not completed any. But you see this is per month. So assuming you want the certification and you pay, you will be forced and disciplined to complete it so you don't pay again. Even if you want a certification in this course, audit it first. Because it may take you a month or more to finish. When you are done, you now go and register for it and just do your assignment. Because you have taken the course, you can easily do the assignment. So you will actually complete the course in 1 month and get the certification. So that's the secret. Audit it first for free. You feel, okay, I need this certificate. Then you go and pay and finish in 1 month. So when you come here and you say audit, this will give you access to the course material, everything, and for free. So this is the next stage. You have the basics, you start taking specialized courses. We'll talk about AI and machine learning. It's a broad field. So which area? Spatial application. Start taking courses in that area. That is another point. The other ones, another point, especially for is by S3. But yes, this is what it means. Massive open online course. Now, for our field, you have so many courses in this, under this. And they will even give you access to the ArcGIS. Okay, see what I was talking about for YouTube. Full Python course. So you can see this, 12 hours. That is already half a semester. You see some. So once you search with such keyword, it gives you complete courses and not these 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here. No, get complete course on that thing you want to learn. And then you can pause. Today, 10 minutes, practice. The next day, you know where you stop. That is how you progress. Look at this. This is 13 hours. And it's a free. Instead of watching skit and plans, use the data for something useful. So, set. I think my phone is down. Phone is down, right? So this is another place where you can get courses related to what we are talking about here, especially for spatial data science like geospatial. Okay? Um, okay, so here, when you come to this site, maybe we'll compile and share in the group subsequently, but this is there. You'll see a lot of courses for GIS, for climate action, going to places. These are places you can take short courses. Can you see that? Now, EIM is coming up gradually. You take advantage. Come here, take some 4 weeks, 6 courses, and they are for free. Special data science. This is now data science in your own field, in the geospatial field, imagery, action. And now, when you take these courses, they give you access to their ArcGIS Pro or whatever software you are to use for the period of your course. So you can see the course content, you go through, and if you're interested, you register. So the only thing I would say is structure your learning. Have a time, 1 hour this period, every day. I will do this. Why every day? Because it's a new language. We need more time. For those of you that are into any talent, if you play music, for example, you practice daily. In a shorter period of time, you catch up than practicing once till 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 month. You have to go back and start all over. So if you don't practice daily, you will learn a little of the language, you forget it. Rather than moving to the next stage, you go back to revising it. It is when you have reached a particular level, even if you don't program for months, you will still recall. And then at that point, you produce some of these LLMs to quickly remind you of some of these things. So we are going to stop here and take questions because we can't exhaust everything in one workshop. So I think we can take questions now. Coordinator, who's coordinator?
Any question, please? One. Any other person? Any other person?
Thank you very much, my able and capable mentor. Sitting as seeing you giving us lecture takes me back to the days in geomatics. I'm very, very delighted and happy. The lectures you gave have impacted a lot. Thank you very much. My question goes like this. You have been mentioned earlier that AI, that's artificial intelligence, cannot take over a specific skills or a profession unless we have from that profession an individual who will train the artificial intelligence on how the thing works. Right now, we are live. A lot of people are watching from all over the nations. I want you to please advise, give us a word of advice on how can we integrate AI in our various departments of survey and geoinformatics across the nation. How will it help in making the academic activities a success? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jimmy, for the question. How is what we've been discussing for the past how many days? So you have to, fortunately, the videos are on YouTube. So going through what you have discussed, the previous presenters have said and all that is how you apply it. And I went through some applications quickly. Okay. It by first learning about it like you are doing, then learning how to use it before you get to the stage of applying it. What this workshop has done is not to teach you how to apply AI directly. It's to bring awareness that this is what is happening now. If you're interested, then you follow up with them. Okay. Now, I said it's not replacing. It will only replace those that refuse to learn how to learn. I gave an example earlier. A typist, then there used to be a professional typist, computer thing, and such people did not learn how to learn from one. They were replaced by those that could use the computer. So AI is coming now. If you learn how to use it, you'll be sought after by people looking for who will use it, apply it for them. But if you don't get to learn it, then you may be out of job when they are looking for people that can use it to solve problems. So that is where the replacement comes from refusing to learn how to make this. Have I answered you? Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, class. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tijani Ahmed, and my question is simple. It goes like this. As you mentioned earlier, the previous speakers, they said artificial intelligence is going to reduce the amount of human labor we have in the labor market. And on your own view, so how do you think we can mitigate that effect? Because when you put people out of their jobs, you are going to create something in the society which is going to create a menace. So do you think there's a preferable way or an alternative to address that issue as AI is going to replace most of the labor output? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, TJ. First, we should remember that as a country, we are a developing nation. We are yet to arrive. So some of these things, the way we apply it here and the way they develop, we apply it are different. Presently, we are still in a state of advanced trade by barter, where human labor is still very much in need. But what we are saying is it will not continue this way. So if those that are prepared to remain at the level of offering just direct labor, over time will be at disadvantage. Over time. So if you are in the category of, okay, now that we are still a developing nation, we still need people to do physical work. We don't have great robots digging yet, do some direct labor. But with time, it wouldn't be like that. So if you want to avoid being under that category, it's to simply learn how to apply this technology. So that when that time comes where they need people to apply, you'll be amongst them. And then of course, the more people are being replaced, then the more the society is likely going to be better because you have more people doing nothing. So that is why I say we are a developing nation. And we talk about ethical concerns that our barristers of law presented yesterday. So it is the responsibility, not we here, of the government, to put down laws or whatever to guide the use of this technology, especially for a developing nation. That is why the section on ethical consideration for this was discussed in detail. Yes. So the government will have to put, okay, for social kind of job, we do not permit the use of social technology. We still need humans to handle this kind of job. We still need humans to be filling station attendants. We still need humans to do this kind of direct labor. Otherwise, if everything becomes automated, then so many people will be out of work. I don't know if I answered you. Oh.
Good morning, sir. My name is Mohammed Abdul Majid. So I want to ask, how does Python correlate in the aspect of surveying?
Thank you very much. Now, we have so many programming languages, so many. Now, why Python is related to surveying is because most of the libraries that you use in surveying are written in Python. And like we saw, we demonstrated earlier, it's a very easy language to learn. Imagine in just this section, you're able to learn how to use it. At least you can start from there. So Python is open source and free. People are working freely to develop libraries, existing code that you can use. That is why software like ArcGIS, QGIS, they have the Python console where you can decide rather than clicking and using the interface, you can write your own code. They also use JavaScript, like the Google Earth engine I talked about. You can use either JavaScript or it's popular, it's easy to learn, it's free, it's light. Compared to a program like MATLAB, to install MATLAB 2022, 2023, you need almost like 30 gig of space. And a good processor, maybe like 8 gig RAM and above. Then you run some code in MATLAB, you have to put your computer under AC. Yes, so but Python is free. Most of the software, let's go.
Well, I'm not hearing it audio. Those people will not understand.
Do we have questions for the online class?
Any other person? Okay.